I'm going to say to you that in the next slide, yes, I have something to say. They are the three segments we have in accounting, and they are the three names we use here in Ireland. I start from the audit because it's my path. In Brazil, I worked as an auditor to two multinationals, which is one of the segments in accounting where I was external audit. We have also the internal auditing, which is an accounting field, is one of the segments that I would say audit, review the statements, the work that an accountant do, right? That's the view I had in Brazil until to come to Ireland. When I came to Ireland, in the office I work for, they are called practice. In an accounting office here calls practice. There where you actually learn, I did in the case, I learned how to deal with the company in an accounting point of view since the beginning to the end. And we lead with the small and medium companies for practice offices, right? Big multinational like Price or Deloitte or this kind of thing, they actually, talking about Deloitte, just so my daughter worked to Deloitte as an intern last year, and she got the contract to do at the end of college to keep with them. Oh, look at that! Did you see that, Philippe? Giovanna is now a Deloitte employee.
Very nice.
Yeah.
In Italy?
No, here.
Okay.
Yeah, she worked as an intern last year, and then she got the contract for when she finishes college, starts back again. My pride, I'm telling you. She never stops. We make the best version of us, isn't it? Then in the practice, as a small and medium companies, I had opportunity to face, for example, farms, which is very common in Ireland, or sole traders, which are professionals that work to themselves, like self-employed. I've faced small and medium companies, and we start the end of our work is actually our statement, right? So we do entries, we do all this job during the week, the month, during the year, to the end comes out with a report, which is the famous financial statement, required from a few different bodies and entities across the countries, according to the gaps. And GAP, I don't know if you are familiar with, they are the principles, the accounting principles. And in the practice, that where we learn most from taxation because we are responsible for all the tax obligations from the small companies, and it's not different for big companies. It's just the transactions are just larger for big companies. But if you learn from any small, you are able to work for the big one. Even though because in the big one it's divided by department, so you're just partially in charge of some of the process. But in the small companies, we are in charge from the entire bit. So you get since the taxation, you get the entries, everything, and I learned a lot in the practice office. And finally, we have the industry, which is, for example, Hertz, which is a big multinational where I work internally. So this is called industry, right? So it means that in my career, I could build the three segments. I have audit, practice, and industry in the accounting field. So I'm able, and that was my aim actually. That's what I wanted, to be able to have the view for the different segments. I do have nowadays, thank God. Thank God, no, thank my effort, because look, That wasn't easy.